And at the time, my ignorance about its history and how offensive it is to the Jewish community is absolutely not an excuse, and I was just wrong. So, that's the apology. Shannon, what do you make of what Leonard had to say here?
Give this some bull jive. How about just apologize? Guys, I'm sorry. To the Jewish community, I understand how offensive that word is. I want to apologize. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make amends for my terrible, terrible misspeaking, my mistake. I apologize. Skip, to say you don't know what that word means, people don't use words. Because guess what he sandwiched in between? Two expletives. Effing, slur, expletive. He put emphasis on it. He wanted whoever he was talking to feel what he was saying. Just like when they utter the N-word. They just don't use the N-word by themselves. They say F and N, N-B, for emphasis. That's how they use it. And so for him to not apologize, but say, I didn't know the meaning of the word, bro, ain't no apology. Once you say you don't know, you're not apologizing. So you just lost everybody. How about just come out and says, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I uttered something that I should have never uttered. But if you think this is the first time, you're sadly mistaken, because guess where he was, Skip? In the confines of his own home. You remember Kyle Larson last year when he was doing that simulated race? And he uttered that? Because he's comfortable. Skip, you let your guard down when you're comfortable. You comfortable in your own house, you probably walk around in your boxer, you and Ernestine, y'all just talking. You comfortable. Things that you wouldn't do in public or in someone else's house. You put your feet up on the coffee table, you come in, you just sprawl out on the couch. You wouldn't do that anywhere else. But in your own home, where I'm comfortable, I have the security, the confines of my own walls, I will speak freely. He spoke freely. This is him. So if you think this is not him, you're sadly mistaken. Skip, you don't go to words like this. You don't, Skip, he playing a video game. I get it, Skip. You know, I play video games. God dang it. You lucky, you know what. Man, you suck. Skip, he could have went to a lot of words. He could have said mofo, SOB, fatherless child. That ain't where he went. He dug deep. He went to one bag and said, well, you know, that bag right there, everybody gonna know that one. So then he gonna play ignorance when he go to another bag. The Jewish community viewed that word, what he uttered, just like the black community viewed the N-word.
Absolutely.
And then you gonna give her there with that half-hearted bull jive apology. Bruh, just apologize. Make no excuses why you said it. You said it. I'm sorry. Jewish community, I'm sorry that I offended you. I know it's offensive, and I'm sorry. In NBA, I don't know what they're gonna do. Normally, when you utter things like this, it's normally a fine. Are they gonna fine him? What the Heat gonna do? He was already injured. Are they gonna, remove him? I don't really know what, precedent has been set. We've seen guys say other things, homophobic slurs, and they normally get $100,000, $200,000 fine, Skip, and the NBA keep it moving. So I don't know, but this is the same guy.
Not now.
Not, yeah, you're probably right, Skip, because everybody remembers Meyers Leonard, Skip, in the bubble. Everybody's taking a knee for unarmed killing of black men and women, the inequality that's in America, and he's standing proud because he respects the troops. Well, now that I've heard you utter that word, what troops are you talking? Are you talking about those troops over there in Nazi Germany? Which troops do you respect? Skip, you don't just utter that word. Of all the words you can utter, Skip, you don't just utter that word. Of all the words you can utter, you go there? Makes me think he was playing someone from that community on the other line, because why would you call somebody else that?
He called his opponent that word on a live stream.
Yes!
He spat it right out because he spat it out before.
Thank you.
You don't reach for that slur unless you've used it many times before.
Thank you.
It popped right out, right on cue, right in sequence of this live stream.
Yes.
And then he had the audacity to say, while I didn't know what the word meant at the time, yeah, you did. You knew what the purpose of the word was. You knew what the impact of the word was. Maybe you didn't know the origins of the word, but you knew. And yet, that word, silly me, I was hoping that that slur had kind of faded to some extent from the lexicon.
Right.
Nope. It's back. It's ugly, right in your face. So the NBA has to take action. Now, Meyers Leonard is out for the rest of the year off shoulder surgery, so it's hard to sort of double penalize. He's already out.
Right.
But he needs to be suspended for whenever he comes back. He needs to serve a lengthy suspension. Miami has a player option on him next year. I'm going to guess they will not exercise. I would hope they would.
Right.
And then his career is going to be in jeopardy because he's going to have to hit the market, and it's going to be a tough sell.
It is, Skip. It's going to be. Skip, we've seen Donald Sterling. When he was in the confines of his own home, he spoke open and freely. Now, we had suspicions because of the way he ran his businesses. You had suspicions, but to hear him say it, to hear him speak it, Skip, remember Zeke was live streaming, and he was talking about, man, I'm low-key faded. You see, Skip, when you in the confines of your own home, you speak freely. Ain't nobody about to say whatever the F I want to say. He was in the confines of his own home. This is who Meyers Leonard is. Guys, you don't have one-offs of this magnitude without having done something similar before. That's just the way it works. And so for him to say, I didn't know what that word meant, why you use the word you don't know the meaning of?
So just to frame this with the Kyle Larson incident, it happened about a year ago. He's live streaming on, it's called iRacing.
Right.
Again,
it's simulated.
Yes, confines of your home. I assume he was. I don't know that for a fact, but I assume he was.
Well, he had let his hair down. He got comfortable.
Yeah, and he had lost connection with his spotter, and he said, "You can't hear me, N-word." Well, that was the end of him for the rest of the year. He was suspended. And he was fired by his race team, which was Chip Ganassi. And then
Rick Hendricks picked him up.
Sitting out, Rick Hendricks Motorsports picked him up, and he just won a race in Las Vegas, the Pennzoil 400. So he's back.
The quickest to win a race for Hendricks, Mr. Hendricks. He was the quickest. Quicker than Jeff Gordon, quicker than Jimmy Johnson, quicker than Labonte, quicker than Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Okay, so that set some precedent because he did miss the rest of the...
But see, he ain't got that kind of talent, though. See, he ain't got that kind of talent. See, that kid got talent. So he got an opportunity. I don't know. I mean, he's 6'11".
He's a 7-footer who can shoot threes. That's how he's hung around for 9 years.
So it's going to be very interesting to see. But what also is going to be very interesting, because when people utter the N-word, they always tell us, well, that's a long time ago. Words shouldn't hurt you. Words shouldn't offend you. So we're going to see who this word offends. I'm going to see if you have that same energy when people utter that word and black people are up in arms about hearing that, and you tell us slavery happened a long time ago and it's over, we need to move on. I'm going to see if you have that type of energy.
Fair point, and you better. You better.
But Skip, whatever happened to just apologizing, not making excuses for why you did something? I'm sorry. I was wrong.
He made the all-time classic non-excuse.
Skip, how you make an excuse before you make the apology? I thought you make the apology first, and then you make the excuse afterward. And people will say you nullified the apology by making the excuse. Well, he made the excuse before he made the apology. He could have just kept the apology. When you reveal yourself, you got to be careful, Skip, when you put on this front, because sometimes the man above will raise the cover, let everybody see you for who you are, and then he'll gently let the cover drape back down on you. But you've already been seen.
You have been exposed, or you have exposed yourself.
Exposed himself. You're exactly right.
It's just disappointing on so many levels, right? When I read this yesterday, I'm like, oh, I mean, come on. It's just, why are we having these conversations? People saying, I don't know what it means. Well, then don't say that word.
Exactly.
I mean, we should all know that. He's got over 70,000 followers on this streaming platform as well. So he knew people were watching. That's the part that is alarming to me. So we're going to have